Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome. Awesome.
Get you guys' attention, you know, what can I say?
Yes. Yes. Well, man, I try to keep the tigers at bay. Good luck. I'm just kidding. They're great. Okay, cool. So we'll cover in the next couple of weeks here the reply by email to pass some message into sales nav inbox, and then maybe some URL conversion stuff. So let's do this. So we're 15 minutes in. I want to introduce Mary. Not a big deal, Mary, at all. You're wonderful. Let me just close this guy. I was just about to email you and make sure you're still okay.
Well, my presentation went away. I mean, I had no audio. I don't know.
All right. Are you ready to roll?
I am ready to roll.
Okay, awesome. So for those of you who have been here before, Mary is a regular. She's super, super kind. I'm excited to have her on. She's going to share about Profinder. I'm going to be, hopefully not too annoyingly, asking a lot of questions as we go, because that's just how I am. Mary is a partner, right, at Job Seekers Edge. So I'd love to hear just a little tiny bit about that. And then did you see the email that I sent with the questions? So let's go through that. And then Mary sent me some slides. The stats that I emailed you about, Mary, I was like, are you kidding me? The volume that you for that number, I almost don't even believe it. That is insane. So I'm really, really excited to hear you geek out. Mary, feel free to share your screen, take the reins, and then we'll save all of the questions from everybody in the room till Mary's done, except for me, because. Okay, Mary, take it away.
All right, here goes. Here goes, guys. So thanks, guys, and thank you, Isaac, for the introduction. So I am Mary Tucker with Job Seekers Edge, and Profinder is an interesting application, and so I thought it was appropriate to subtitle this "How to Make Money and Lose Weight While You Sleep."
Yeah, what is that?
Well, it's like too good to be true, right?
Oh, there you go.
Like, it's like, oh yeah, well, sure, I'll buy that. I can probably make money and lose weight while I sleep, right?
That's great.
All right. So these are the topics I'm going to cover. So what is Profinder? How does Profinder work? 5 easy steps to become a Profinder, and should I be a Profinder? So I want to talk for just a second about my business model, because I think it is appropriate for this topic, because you'll understand how the business model matches up with Profinder.
Yeah. So
we provide career transition services to professionals. So all of our clients are managers, directors, VPs, and above. And this is important for any business to know who their target audience is. And especially as we sort through Profinder leads, it's important that we not fill our calendars with people who aren't really a good fit for the business. Yeah. So we provide our clients with coaching, resumes, LinkedIn profiles, how to turn conversations into job offers. From Profinder's perspective, what we offer is specifically career coaching, resume and LinkedIn profile writing, interview coaching. And today, 95% of our leads come from Profinder.
That is insane. So it's outrageous.
Right. So full disclosure here, we started the business in September. What we're beginning to see is that our referrals are stacking up, and we're getting more and more business from referrals. Still, we're a young business, and 95% of our leads come from Profinder.
Wow. That's crazy, Mary.
It is crazy. So what specifically is Profinder? Well, Profinder is an application from LinkedIn that's intended to connect service providers with service seekers. And it really is meant to be almost like a individual contributor to individual contributor. So what LinkedIn has done is made it very difficult for somebody like a sales rep at GE to sign up for Profinder, right? Yeah. So they don't want they want this to be about a member-to-member relationship. Because it's a member-to-member relationship, the tendency is to believe that this is a B2C sale. And honestly, most of our interactions with Profinder is on a B2C basis. But it's also important to remember that not everybody who is an individual on LinkedIn is only shopping for themselves. So particularly in our services, we might have someone who, for instance, was a VP of HR who said, well, we're going to lay people off and we'd like everybody to have a fresh resume, so they could hire us to do that. So I listed here as B to C, but also B to buyer, and that's what I mean. I have all these links in here. I'm going to post in the chat all of these links live so that you guys will have these. So why Profinder for the service provider? This is one of the nicest lead gen solutions I've ever seen, because what it is people saying, sign me up. I want a proposal. I want to know what your services are about. LinkedIn is also a platform for qualifying leads. So I can very easily tell when someone raises their hand and wants me to give them a proposal, whether or not they're a good fit, at least on the surface, whether they're a good fit for our services. Going back to the idea that we're servicing managers, directors, VPs, and above, we don't serve baristas. We're not really a good fit for people graduating college. We're not particularly a good fit for people coming out of the military. So there's a whole lot of people that wouldn't really be up for paying the fees for our services, and we recognize that. So why Profinder for the buyer or person seeking the services? What LinkedIn wants you to know is that this is a circle of trusted advisors. So they're trying to develop that kind of relationship. Also easy access to service providers. And it's funny, one of the things that Profinder offers is a 15-minute free consultation. So somebody signing up, somebody that's wanting to know about my services can say, sure, I'll take a 15-minute free consultation. And for me, that's a 15-minute sales call.
Yep, for sure.
For sure.
And just to kind of dwell on that for a moment, for everybody here that is on LinkedIn a lot, in the last year, maybe two, but especially in the last year, you can see LinkedIn pivoting towards becoming more of a business service solution platform than just networking. They have introduced, right, the ability to search for service providers, which is just shocking. Just shocking, because until then it was you look for a company or you look for a person. Business services is a whole different thing. Profinder is a whole different thing. So I think that you should, if you're not on Profinder, you should get on now, because the tide is moving towards business services, and it makes sense for LinkedIn to do that. I mean, that's what, yeah. So anyways, just 2 cents on that. Thanks, Mary.
Commentary. No, I appreciate that. So there is a page, I'll provide the link, where you can see whether or not the services that you provide are part of Profinder today. And Profinder is an interesting part of LinkedIn. So there's a live chat on Profinder. So as a service provider, you can go on and ask LinkedIn questions about Profinder. So you could, for instance, ask them if they're planning to add a line of services that would be appropriate for your business or for your client. Right. So otherwise, calling LinkedIn is kind of like,
it's the worst.
Yeah, right. So, but their live chat's actually pretty good.
Cool.
So I want to show you how a LinkedIn member submits a request. So they're going to go to the, I can't even see my own screen because I've got my window. Give me just a second, guys. So they go to the work section, drop down, select Profinder, and they get a window that looks like this. It's kind of an introduction to Profinder. In my case, they might type in something like resume writing. And when they do and they hit get started, then they're going to start going through a series of questions. And this is a fairly short form, but it's intended to qualify the lead for me before they ever get to me. So in this case, I've just pre-selected that somebody's looking for a LinkedIn profile or a traditional resume. They could say other, they could say one of those items. If they hit continue, sorry?
Mary, as someone who's looking for an RFP, this is free, right?
Yes.
So anybody, regardless of whether they are a Profinder service provider or not, anybody for free, no matter what kind of account type they have, they can go to Profinder and get a quote for free.
If you're a LinkedIn member, yes.
Yeah, cool.
And if you are living and working in the United States,
Okay.
yes.
Yes. So this is
So,
not available outside the US for if you want to do a request.
correct.
Okay.
The next page, again, just short qualifying questions. They need a resume from scratch or they have an existing resume, where they are in their career. Again, these questions are specific to the offering that's being made. So if I had selected career coaching, there would be a different set of questions. Then what industries they're focused on. This is kind of an interesting question, how I would like to work with a resume writer, whether they want to work in person or virtually.
Do you know, Mary, if I was going to ask you about that, if they choose in person, is that just going to go to like their metro, or do you know how far out it goes geographically from the sender?
I kind of do. So this is all based on the zip code that's on your LinkedIn profile.
Okay.
And you can change your zip code. So you can decide, if I live in San Diego, I can decide that I live in Dallas. And LinkedIn doesn't appear to care that I've done that. What it does care about from Profinder's perspective is how many connections I have in the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. And the more connections I have, the better leads they send to me.
Really?
Really.
That is fascinating. I did not know that.
It is fascinating. So the leads that come to me are a little bit like a pebble in a pond. So I live in lovely San Diego. My LinkedIn profile has me in Los Angeles. I get most of my leads from Los Angeles. I occasionally get leads from Arizona, and it's because somebody in Arizona didn't respond. So they have a requester sitting out there that needs a resume in this case, and nobody's responded to them. So the circle spreads out, and I'll pick up leads in Arizona. I'll pick up leads in Colorado. Interestingly enough, I skip over most of the South, and I pick up leads in Florida. That's probably based on where I have leads, right? It's where I have contacts. It's where I've done business. And so I have business contacts in the area.
Wow.
Right.
That's really, can I ask a quick question with the zip code? So there's two places where you can do the zip code, right? There's for where you live, and then you choose actually, let's say on your work experience, you choose where the company is, right? And it can be different. You know
That's
what I mean?
right. That's right.
So what Profinder's looking at is the zip code that's about you, not in your work experience. Is that correct? Okay.
Right. In my personal profile.
That's fascinating. I am really intrigued to hear that with the lead volume and the location mattering with your first degrees. That's fascinating, Mary.
Right. Just fun facts to know and tell. Profinder appears to be headquartered in Nebraska.
Well, that's not far from here, so maybe I'll go check it out.
There you go. There you go. So there's a team of people in Nebraska that reviews all Profinder applications and deems them suitable or unsuitable. And we'll talk about that more in a couple of minutes.
Wow.
But they also review all the incoming lead request or proposal requests. And what they're checking for is they're checking for spam, they're checking for pornographic requests, anything that they deem unsuitable, they screen out. And they release the leads then in batches.
Really?
So yeah.
Wow.
I knew the algorithm more than I know it really well by experience. I don't know the inner workings of LinkedIn.
So if they release them in batches, have you noticed a pattern? Like, are they following a work schedule, or is it? No?
I'll get a batch in the middle of the night.
Huh.
Right.
That's quite fascinating, Mary.
So then they can offer additional information if they want. Some people do, some people don't. And then that's it. That's all they have to do. Now, I actually went all the way through this process yesterday, and I got my mailbox full of people who want to write my resume. Unintended consequence. Okay.
So when you do the submit, so if you're looking for the proposal, you push submit. What should your expectations be? should your expectations be that you're going to get an email notification from LinkedIn, or do you need to be checking your notifications? What does that look like for the people contacting you?
So LinkedIn allows up to 5 proposals. So if you're looking for a resume writer and LinkedIn doesn't put, or Profinder doesn't put a limit on that, you're probably going to get 9 million proposals. So they limit it to 5. What happens is that there's a firestorm of emails. So LinkedIn probably sends you an email and says, thank you for submitting your proposal. And then you get a proposal from Bob, and you get a proposal from Jill, and you get a proposal from Mary, and you get a proposal from Catherine, and you get a proposal from Alfred. And then LinkedIn comes back and says, you have a proposal from Bob. You have a proposal from Jill. You have a proposal from Mary. So it's like people start, it's like, this is nuts. All I did was I just hit that little button, and all of a sudden my email is full of all these proposals, and then all these LinkedIn reminders that you got a proposal and that you haven't read the proposal yet. So we actually have a little bit of a secret trick that we do to kind of quiet down that noise. And if I forget to mention it, remind me and I'll tell you about it.
Awesome.
So the other side of it is, what does the Profinder request, what does it look like to the service provider?
Yeah.
So this is under my notifications. And I just picked this randomly yesterday, and you can see that I don't have the person's name. I do have their byline, and I know where they're from.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know what they're looking for. So you can see that I have, looks like a couple of career coaches, a couple of resume writing people. And this is where I begin to do the first cut of, is this somebody that I'm interested in proposing to? And the word proposal in Profinder is not like a proposal in any other context I think you would have ever seen. So I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. But so I'm going to say, I want to view this proposal. I want to view what this person is really looking for. And so here I have this guy. He's a product engagement analytics and technology professional, and he's looking for a LinkedIn profile and resume. He needs revisions. He's mid-career, comfortable working virtually, and then is actually filling out quite a bit of information about what his specific needs are. At the bottom of this page, sorry, I was doing screenshots. At the bottom of this page, I have the option to submit a proposal. I actually have the option to include or not include a 15-minute free phone consultation. And I can also let Profinder know that I'm not interested in this request. I've never told Profinder that I wasn't interested. I don't know what they're doing with their algorithms, but I think I would rather have them believe that I am open to all opportunities than to have them start screening opportunities on my behalf. So this proposal right here, as I say, it not a whole lot like any other proposal you would have seen, needs to be a minimum of 200 characters and a max of 1,500 characters. What we typically see is that people have a copy-paste marketing piece that they put in here. And we get feedback from prospects and clients that that kind of marketing piece is pretty unattractive. So we make a point of trying to personalize this as best we can. Based on the person's byline, we may be able to find their LinkedIn profile. Now, if they're digital marketing strategist, you'll never find them. But if they have anything unique about their byline, you may be able to find them. And then you can say, hi, Alfred, I see that you're looking for a resume writer. And then if you can make reference to anything that they've put in the comments here. So we understand that you want a resume that speaks to all areas of impact, mirroring back language that they've used. Then people respond to that. The other thing that we found is that if you make it short, then people can read it on their iPhone or their cell phone. So a lot of people don't do LinkedIn on their computer in the office, but they would have LinkedIn on their phone. So having a message that's short enough, that's easy to read, so people aren't paging through page after page of a presentation. 1,500 characters doesn't sound long, but it can be on a phone.
Yeah. Mary, when you're replying, then is there a call to action? And I know this will vary based on what you're selling and what they're asking for, but is your main call to action like for the text that you add in there? Is it, let's just jump on the phone, you tell me more about your needs? So it's not even really a proposal, it's more like a contact form. Would you say that's true?
That's absolutely
Yeah.
correct. It's absolutely correct. Within the business, my partner and I have gotten, we talk in code because it's like, did you send them a proposal? Well, which proposal?
Yeah.
A real proposal or a LinkedIn proposal?
You know what you might also be able to do, Mary? I'm not sure. Are you familiar with TinEye, where you do a reverse image search? So if you scroll up and look at the person's headshot, if you can grab, and this is maybe for another time too, but if you right click it and then grab the picture, you save the image, you can upload their image to TinEye and it'll do an image search. And if they have public profile turned on, I bet you could find their public profile. Just a quick hack there.
Appreciate that, because sometimes it is difficult if people have just a generic byline. It can be tough. Okay, so I'm going to type up my proposal. I'm going to hit send, and Profinder provides the recipient of the proposal with some standard replies. So I'd love to know more about your work. This is not a good fit. So Profinder tries to make it easy for the recipient to respond to me. Let's talk about the rule of 5 proposals. So the proposals expire quickly.
How quickly?
If you have the title of CEO, I'd say in under 3 minutes.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there is a delay. There's a lag between LinkedIn and email. So if I'm looking at LinkedIn, it will tell me I have if I have my LinkedIn page up, it will tell me I have new notifications, even if I've just checked to see if there were any out there. It'll tell me I have new notifications. I can go check real quick. And then a few minutes later, I might get an email telling me about that same lead. And by then the lead may be gone.
Wow. So it's really wise to monitor your notifications.
Correct. But it's kind of strange because the LinkedIn proposal only takes, a minute to do. And it's not like you're doing them 60 minutes an hour. So it's kind of a thing you need to keep an eye on. If somebody gets 5 proposals, then the lead is expired. And I'll tell you a tip about that too. You can see the expired leads in the list of leads that are available. So when you're looking at your notifications, it will show you current leads. It will show you people you're in conversation with. It'll show the leads that have been, or the proposals that have been opened. It'll show you proposals that are unread, and it'll show you proposals that are expired. So you can go to the expired proposals and copy paste bylines into the LinkedIn search engine and find those people.
Nice.
What we found is that we do that 3 days after they request.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get into a little bit of psychology here, but one is there are some people who are going to select the first resume writer they talk to, and I get that. But there are some people who are so inundated by the noise generated by that hitting that button and saying, send me a proposal, that it's like, their head's exploding. So 3 days later, things are calm. I can reach out with a personalized connection message now. I can't send them a proposal anymore, but I can send them a connection request. And I can still say, I see you're looking for a resume writer. But now I can say, I don't know if you're planning on leaving XYZ company, or if you just want to be prepared for when the next great opportunity comes along, we should connect. So the call to actions changes.
That's really smart, Mary. Have you ever done anything where you're adding a video to your proposals, either through Profinder or when you find them, just using search, where you maybe do like a Loom recording where you're on their profile, give them a little bit of your thoughts, and then that way they can see your face, hear your voice, and know you're trustworthy, and send that,
We're
run the
just,
first handshake?
yeah, we're just working on that.
Okay.
And what we'll do is we'll be using it with people that connect with us, because then you have more of an open range of how you want to connect with them.
Yep.
So again, personalizing the proposal, even if you don't know their name, if you look at how they set up their request, you may be able to find things that you can reference. And we get good feedback when we get a lot of good feedback about having personalized proposals instead of getting what they see as being a marketing blurb.
Yeah.
There's, again, I'll post the links in the chat session. You can apply to be a Profinder. They give you some tips on what you should do. So you should have a profile photo. You should have a good headline. You should have a good summary. You should have recommendations. Sorry about the background noise, guys. But I wanted to tell you, again, a couple of things: that you must live and do business in the United States. Profinder's not being offered outside of the US today. We have had some people that have applied to be Profinders that were not successful, and so we've learned a couple of things. You need to have 5 personal recommendations for the services you provide, and they need to be relatively recent. You need to publish 3 to 5 articles. So LinkedIn says, publish articles, but it's more specific than that. So it's really 3 to 5 articles. The cost is $47.99 a month. You can try Profinder for free, or you have been up until yesterday. I don't know what they're doing today, but you can try Profinder for free, and you can send out up to 10 proposals for $0.
Well,
I'll put links.
So you need to have a premium account.
You do.
As a service provider.
Yes, you do.
To be able to. That's really good to know. Mary, what happens if I apply and then get rejected?
So if you apply and get rejected, Profinder has been open to sharing with you the reason for the rejection. And the biggest reason we've seen, and it may just be the space we're in, is they think that you're associated with a larger business. So you need to figure out a way to say that you're an individual contributor. But I can't imagine that they would come back and say, you don't appear to have much experience in this area. That's why you'd have the 5 recommendations for the services you provide. That's why we recommend the 3 to 5 articles that you publish, because LinkedIn, even though they're doing a personal review of your application, they're only human, and they're going to go with what they see initially in assessing your application.
Oh, no, go ahead. I have.
You go.
No, I'm sorry. There was a lag. You take the reins.
We have known Profinder to be open to reconsidering applications. So I wouldn't consider it a door firmly shut. If they email you and tell you that your application has been denied, I think it's a good reason to have a conversation. And if you reach back out to them, they have been open to discussing it with you, or discussing it with the people.
When I first applied, I got rejected.
Did you?
I did. I got rejected, and I asked them why, and they said it was because I didn't have enough recommendations. And recommendations are kind of tough to get. So if you're thinking about applying for Profinder, send out ask a bunch of your friends to do that now, and make sure that you lead the conversation when you ask for the recommendation. Be sure to have them mention the service that you're applying for. Otherwise, it's going to be an irrelevant recommendation.
And if I could make a recommendation to you from someone who coaches people on how to have good LinkedIn profiles, even if you get all the recommendations on the same day, don't post them all on the same day. And I think Bruce said that too. Yeah. Okay.
So Mary, can I ask you one quick question? So is Profinder mostly going to be for like a freelancer, consultant, what kind of thing, not for a bigger company, right?
Right. So LinkedIn doesn't want this to be a business to business solution. They're trying to take the LinkedIn members and give the members a leg up in business.
So if you were the owner of a company that had a lot of employees, could you apply for Profinder and still get in? Or would you be disqualified because you are maybe the owner? You know what I mean? Like, is there, when do you become disqualified for your role? Is it because your company is too big and you own it? Or is it role?
I don't know.
Okay. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
It does make sense.
Because I'm like, I applied like a long time ago. I reapplied after they rejected me. And I'm thinking, what if, a couple of years from now, my company's not a good fit for what your Profinder service provider typically is, because maybe we just are a lot larger. Can I still use Profinder? You know, did I get grandfathered in early, or you know what I mean? I'm curious there.
I don't know.
So jump in now and apply now.
Well, the thing that I think is interesting for you, Isaac, and I really don't know about your business structure, but I presume that you have people working for you that do lead generation. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I do it too, but yeah.
Right. So the question is, are they all going to be Profinders?
Yeah. Yeah. Or can they add like a freelance role in their education, make that priority, and then have it be their own thing and then apply?
Ask the
Can you
algorithm.
can you change the business that you're associated with for Profinder? Like, what if you have Profinder and then you've been a freelancer for years and then you are sick of it and work for a bigger company in the same industry?
I don't.
Another gets all hairy. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the organization I know that had the largest number of Profinders within the organization. And I think that would have been probably in the range of 10. And,
Interesting.
and Profinder wasn't concerned at that level, but I don't know when that changes.
Yeah. I wonder if when you change your your work history, if you like add a new primary role at a new company, I wonder if that's triggers some kind of review as well to make sure that you're still a good fit.
Doesn't appear to have.
Really interesting. What's up, Nebraska? Come on, guys.
Well, so yeah, it doesn't appear to have changed.
Okay. Okay. So it seems like it would be smart to apply as soon as you fit the criteria. It seems like it'd be smart to just jump on there and apply. But what happens if you stop paying for premium, Mary?
Well, then I wouldn't get it anymore.
Do you still have a verified Profinder account, but maybe you can't send proposals?
Uh,
Because I know people pause their premium subscription quite frequently. Like I have Sales Nav, which means I have everything in premium, and I don't ever foresee not having Sales Nav. But I know a lot of people pause their subscription because of budget and whatever. I was just curious if they have to reapply. Maybe you don't even know because that's kind of like in the weeds. But would you have to reapply if you pause?
I don't know that.
Okay, totally cool. Totally cool. I'll send this video to someone at LinkedIn Profinder Nebraska. We'll get all of our answers.
Yeah, you could. You could.
Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry for distracting you. Continue on.
Okay, here's the money slide.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
Should I be a Profinder? So my partner and I, in the period from January to April, which is an 18-week period, we had 12,358 requests for services. So just because somebody requests, now what we're doing is we're sorting out the baristas, we're sorting out the graduating seniors, right? So we sent 2,101 proposals, which is about a 17% qualification.
Wow.
So sorting through the leads and saying who should we propose to and who shouldn't we propose to, of those 255 appointments were generated.
Wow. I just
So
can't get over the 12,000 requests. That is outrageous. Okay, so if you pay for premium, that's like what, $60 a month, right?
Right?
$60 a month, and then January to April is 4 months, $240 for 12,000 requests. Is right?
Right.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
Is that just going to your account or to the conglomerate of everybody that's working with you?
It's my partner and me.
Okay, so, but still, even if
Two
you
of
cut that
us.
in half, 12,000, that's still an outrageously cheap cost per lead.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Um, so that resulted in 255 appointments on our calendars and really 1,000 connections to people who we know are in the market for a new job.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy, Mary.
Sorry. It's
Okay,
true.
I'm
Am,
gonna stop. I'm
am
gonna
I,
stop hogging the questions.
yeah. Should I leave this up, take it down? Should I stop screen sharing?
Can I ask, while we're on the money slide here, uh, so Profinder has a lot of different industries and service requests that you can do. Some are going to be higher volume than others, right?
Right.
And for everybody here that's on Profinder, I would love to hear some, just to compare like volume and then job size as far as the dollar value. Like, is anybody finding, and PS, most of you are on mute, just so you know. Sorry, I want to make sure that there's no background noise from Mary. But I've noticed that a lot of the Profinder requests that come in for me and for the people that we work with are usually, I'm going to say, like less than $1,000. I don't really see anything for like $100,000 type, uh, but that might just be me. So I'm curious if anybody has some thoughts on volume and then average job size. Anybody? And Mary, how much do you charge for? You can
I charge
for
as little as 1,000, as much as 3, and I have frequently used Profinder to sell services at 5 and 10,000.
Okay, so 1 to 10,000 maybe is the sweet spot for Profinder. I'm at least
You know,
right now.
it may be specific to my business,
Mhm.
but we talk to people who are sensitive at $1,000. So hard to imagine spending $1,000 for somebody to help them get a job. Once I get over 1,000, I almost don't have an upper limit. Um, so I hit a little bit of price sensitivity at 3, but if people are willing to spend 3, they're willing to spend 5 or 6. So it's
Yeah,
causing us to have conversations about richer packages and more value.
gotcha.
Hey, Mary, this is Brent. Got a question for you related to, I understand they call it a freelancing type environment, but I was looking through the list of services that people can request. One of the categories, for example, is insurance. And I don't know a single freelancer that operates an insurance company. So if they are an agent of an insurance company, could they qualify for this? Because you're talking about, businesses that have thousands of employees that are incorporated, that could be publicly traded. So there are services listed on here that would have to be operated by beyond somebody who's a freelancer. So, for example, the category we operate is in the IT. We're a data center. So we're a small team of about 6 people. We have partners. So we're not this gigantic business operation, but we're also not a freelancing. We do some consulting, but more as an employee role. So how do businesses figure out, how do they fit into the model when some of the services look like they're designed for larger corporations and not a freelance environment?
Right. I wish I could answer that question for you, and I'm afraid I can't.
Okay, fair enough.
Brett, you know what you should do is you should just do a service request
You should.
and see who gets a hold of you.
Actually, that we've done that, and I accidentally did that yesterday.
Are you finding they're a little more lenient than what they say on the application process? if they feel like there's a lead opportunity for it?
They certainly want to be of service to their members.
Okay.
And particularly if you are providing services in a category that they advertise that they don't have much support in that area, I would think that they'd be welcoming.
Yeah, I was noticing in a couple of the categories are much broader than others. And I was looking at the IT services. There's just a handful of services because oftentimes those types of services have to be managed by a larger business other than just a freelancer. So I was curious if they were opening to add additional services into some of the categories that honestly are going to be only be offered by a larger business. Is there a way to contact them about adding additional services to their list?
Right, you should do the chat like Mary was saying.
Yeah.
If you go to the Profinder thing, maybe just ask them on the chat because it sounds like you would be a good fit. You might just ask them.
Yeah, I'm looking for that chat. I was looking for like a live chat button on there. Am I missing that on the page somewhere?
Well, I think I see it because I'm signed up for Profinder.
So once you're a member, you have access to that probably.
Probably.
Brent, what you can do is you can go to their Twitter is really good about support. So I think it's at LinkedIn Help, I believe is what it is.
Gotcha.
Mary, I have a question for you if it's okay. Brent, are you
Not
done with your
okay.
question?
Not okay.
Sick. So you said that you go out on LinkedIn and you actually find the person. So then do you message the individual in LinkedIn in a message, or do you take that information that you find off of their profile and put that into your initial proposal where you're just trying to reach back out to them? I'm just trying to understand.
Both.
Ah, okay. So you reach out to them individually and then you respond on that proposal to.
Well, my first choice is to respond on the proposal because they're actively seeking.
Mm-hmm.
But if the proposal expires because they already got already received 5 proposals, then I use that. Then having found them on LinkedIn helps because I can then connect with them. And by the by, we track the response rate on expired proposals and on current proposals because remember I'm sending them 3 days later.
Right.
To people I didn't get to the first time, right? I send them 3 days later and the rates are almost identical.
Wow, that's really, really informative, Mary. Wow.
That is.
And our close rates are about the same as well. They're
really
in the noise.
Wow.
Whether we get more closes from current proposals than we do from expired proposals.
Wow.
So Mary, with an expired proposal, does the person's image go away and the byline just stays there, or the whole thing is there?
The whole thing's there.
Wow. Oh, okay. Cool.
So you could go in theoretically every day and look over all of the proposals that came through and then contact each of those by going and finding their individual profile and talking that way.
Right. So there's a couple of things that will defeat you in that using that methodology. One is if they don't have a photograph, it can be tricky. Particularly in my case, I don't necessarily want to send a blind connect request that says, "Hey, I see you're looking for a resume writer," and they go, "Oh,
Number one, you need a LinkedIn picture."
So that could be tricky. And also, if people have a really dumbed down byline, then it's also you'll search for them and they'll say, "There's 11,000 people in Los Angeles with that title," and it's like,
Yeah. And for some of you, you may be thinking, wow, this is a lot of work, but right now it's getting the summer, and anybody looking to hire an intern, there's a great job for an intern to do, working with Mary, looking through all these expired proposals and then having an intern or get a cat.
Yes, the cat.
Isaac, I don't want to make you run over your time.
Oh no, I'm great. I don't want to get back to work today. Actually, I'm not feeling it.
Can I stop sharing and I'll put all the links for this stuff in?
Absolutely. Here,
This is fantastic, Mary. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Mary, you crushed it. It was awesome. Oh my God. I got to write more articles. I got so much to do, so little time to do it in.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up see if I
So
have
Mary,
any other questions.
now you have a third or fourth service to offer. Just helping you
So
make money, baby.
Mary, I have two questions for you. Number one would be, have you noticed, is it pretty competitive in the Profinder world? Like, are there a lot of people, and this probably also varies by industry, but is it pretty saturated space, or is it pretty not?
I'd say there are a lot of people that work Profinder very diligently. And our space is a little bit strange because if you say resume writer, it's kind of like saying car. So you can get an old beat up car for, $800, or you can go out and spend, $250,000 on a car. Same kind of thing in resume writing. So there are people out there that'll write a resume for $50. And I think those people are working Profinder all day long. I don't know what kind of traction they're getting.
Yeah.
Which was the question you didn't ask. And the answer is about 19% is our close rate.
That's really good. That's really good. And for some of y'all, the way that LinkedIn Profinder does the categories for both submitting, like asking for a request, and then as a service provider when you're choosing your own, it's kind of like you might feel like what you do is not quite a good fit with the options. We did one where there was applying someone who did video, and video is a subcategory of photography, and they didn't do any photography. And so when you're looking for video, you have to start with photo, and then vice versa when you're applying. So it doesn't feel like it's perfect fit, just so everyone's aware that you might run into that a little bit. Any other questions for Mary?
I put all the links out in chat.
All right.
That was really nice. Thanks, Mary.
Mary, that was so incredibly helpful. I finally am mostly caught up with editing, so I'm going to hope to get this out on YouTube today or tomorrow. So,
Cool.
Mary, thank you. And if you're not connected with Mary, it's in the email, so make sure that you send her a hey.